Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 Driver Crew Mode with Red Bull, episode number 48 today for the Hungarian Grand Prix Season 3, round number 10. If you missed the previous episode of Austria, I recommend going to check that out. A carnage-filled race with two virtual safety cars, as obviously Austria always is that drive, but we did gain quite a bit in the championship, but we couldn't win the race, and really this is possibly why. McLaren had the fastest engine, or best engine overall, so we're going to put an ultimate engine power upgrade to counteract McLaren. I know that Lando Norris isn't quite there for us in the championship. He's only got 118 to mine 161 points now. We are dominating so far, but you know, that can all change. Only takes one wrong race to have a look race. And on that engine power, the engine department asks me about a question to choose whether the department lead has experience or whether I should be suggesting the way. Now I was on and on about this, but I decided to let the department lead decide what to do with it, because it's the development of the car, and the engine upgrade, and at the end of the day it's up to him to be able to do that. Porsche's personnel there, but of course we move then into qualifying. First up, Schumacher. I'm going slowly there on the right hand side, and Stroll decides to out of fuel by the way, and then Stroll decides to slow up, and then Schumacher just runs into the back of him. Yet another glitch that they said they fixed and they actually haven't. As well. And qualifying on the mediums, absolutely horrendous. Last place, because of course Schumacher's not taking part, so P19 is last place. But now on the soft tyres though, we are only 2 and a bit tenths up through the first sector. Again, Hungary, since about F1 2020, yeah, hasn't been used to be a good track. This was actually the track where I got the channel's first ever victory on. However, things have changed. Hungary's been either remodelled or they've done something to Hungary, basically to the AI, which makes Hungary a lot more difficult. And you know, through the middle sector, I'm absolutely horrendous. We're only 2 tenths up on Latifi. Just let that sink in. And the Haas, that's been like it, which is a shopping trolley in this career mode, as well. I'm almost at 9 tenths up though on our best time on the medium, so hopefully this can get us a little closer to the front. Unfortunately, it's only P14. Yeah. So again, I think Hungary might be saying a farewell. To be fair, it is in this career mode, at least in my career mode episodes, not a great track anyway. As well, Bottas got a penalty as well. It was Bottas, not Stroll. Excuse me, in the Aston Martin as well. So yes, well, we need some new engine parts. So I mean, we might as well start from the back. Take this opportunity to make sure we would probably energy stores a bit. Although I think we could have got to the end. It's always better handy to have those extra parts.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of Formula One action. Historically a good race for first victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7 mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly, Vettel and Kevin Magnussen, Tsunoda, Joe, Robert Schwartzman and Latifi, Stroll, Ocon, Mick Schumacher and Valtteri Bottas. Albon, they've taken a grid penalty. And Phoenix. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. A warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who is beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Phoenix. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances. But what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another good race today.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
That's going to be a struggle, Mark. We're in last place. As well, race strategy. Did think about the medium tyre as well, but it is slow and we need the softs to get up the order, really, as well. Although, in hindsight, this is Hungary, so we could have gone on the medium, really. As well, so vibrant lights in for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's as usual a miserable start, and everyone else has managed to get a better start than me. That's typical AI on F122. Down the inside though of about 4 or 5 cars at turn 1 as they leave the gap. I'm going to try and get a bit of, use a bit of VRS, tap manual tyres. I think that with Bottas around the outside of Bottas, around the outside of Latifi, turning inside for the next corner. Lovely little move on Latifi, as well as the Alfa Romeo gets out of shape. We're trying to now get past you up to P15 now, so it's been an okay start. Would like a few more positions as well. Tried to get Stroll there. We are going to get Zhou as well on the exit. Eventually yields the position as Schwartzman and Stroll are going side by side. Well, look, there's already a gap forming though between them, Schwartzman, and the next car, so that's definitely not good news. That will be a sign of how good the pace is. I thought about diving Stroll down the inside there, unable to get the move done. This is, they do call it Monaco without the barriers, Hungary. Has been on the calendar a very long time, so it is an old style circuit as well, but nevertheless, we hope not got the DRS yet, so we're just going to have to hope and pray that we've got enough of the DRS. But Stroll is very handy in a straight line. We're going to have to make a dive bomb at turn 1, a little bit of curbing that I'd like, which loses time to Schwartzman, but we do eventually get the overtake done. Similar move on Schwartzman, another dive bomb again. Maybe a little bit too much on the setup, I don't know. But then everybody else is driving with this setup, but it's not, you can either compromise yourself on the straight and make less overtakes, or you can compromise yourself through the corners. It's a bit of an iffy one, really. Next up, Sonoda, another dive bomb at turn 1. These aren't easy overtakes. On a field with a slightly less draggy setup, actual fact, just so shows the setup isn't entirely what I wanted through sector 1, because Sonoda comes back at me as well. As we jump to lap 6, early pit stop for Russell here, no damage, but I wonder if he's using used softs, at the start with that tyre allocation as well. Our new softs that I saved from qualifying as well, I've managed to get to 30% by lap 7, so I don't know if we need a tyre wear upgrade as well. It's not really an effective thing, because of course we're only doing 25% race. Every strategy is either soft or medium. A little bit held up from Zhou there. We slot in between him and Latifi there, as both of them come into the pits for new mediums, but unable to make progress on the cars in front, which is really annoying that we don't have the pace around this circuit. I think it's the characteristic of where I've taken this Red Bull and the low drag setups that it prefers, as well as there is Hamilton coming out ahead of his teammate George Russell. I'm going to go side by side though down the hill. Both will have DRS. Hamilton on the outside will be able to make the move that I did on Latifi. A little bit wider there, Hamilton. That's going to allow Russell to come back. They're going to go side by side up the hill. It's a great racing between the two Mercedes, but Hamilton will have the the outside line, the racing line, and be able to retain the position, which will be effectively P2 behind this man, Max Verstappen. Although that Verstappen going slowly, it is Verstappen is out of the race with an engine failure as well, and with all that commotion, because the two Mercedes and all of that had to slow under yellow flags, Carlos Sainz leads this way because they pitted the lap after Verstappen retired, with Daniel Ricciardo now down into P2. But Ricciardo locks up, however, at turn 1. That allows Hamilton through. Ricciardo hasn't had a podium in this series since about 1968. Russell now with DRS to spoil Ricciardo's fun round the outside. Ricciardo on the hard tyres, not giving in the grip really compared to the mediums on Russell, and it's a drag race down to turn 3 or 4, excuse me. And Russell around the outside turns the inside. Ricciardo there, to be fair, is still there, but Russell's learned from his mistake from racing Hamilton, pinches Ricciardo to the inside and takes the racing line and moves up on the podium as well. Our pace to Magnussen was poor, but our pace to Vettel until we had another fuel issue. So we need to put more fuel in the car. Clearly, for some reason, the Red Bull just leaked fuel. But our pace to Vettel until we had to really start saving fuel was actually really consistent. Well, we actually grow the gap to Tsunoda out to 3 seconds, but Verstappen's retirement actually gives me a solitary point. That could be crucial. Should we have any more races like this? But it's clear that this Red Bull doesn't like tracks with slow corners on. You can see that by Leclerc. I mean, my pace, half a second down our fastest lap compared to Leclerc. So not the pace for me today, but with the likes of Norris faster, Ricciardo faster, the Mercedes having a good race 2 and 3. This is a track that definitely fitted them, and Verstappen, having a good race as well. Was having a good race until he retired. But, Leclerc's cut the lead to 10 points. We actually grow the gap to Verstappen to 26 points. Norris being a bit consistent now, and he's up to start to close on Verstappen. Could Norris come into position? That's what we see. But Ferrari did manage to jump McLaren in the end, thanks to Sainz's victory today. So you never know with Sainz. And obviously we've lost out to Hamilton, but we do lead our little rivalry 18-14 after Hamilton got 2nd place today. I think that's his first podium of the series. Our powertrain department, Focus, got 10% more morale, which is nice to see. Hopefully they'll be able to produce a few more upgrades. We haven't got too many left on the powertrain department. So, yes, Verstappen will be very annoyed. He's looking for his 2nd victory of the season. Instead, it was a 2nd victory of the season for Carlos Sainz. So, Norris unable to get there, got caught out in the end. Even though he did manage to pick up 6th place, he'd been annoyed. Russell, you never know at Russell. Him and Sainz definitely battling for those last place. But whether they can ring themselves into the title fight is what they can see. And then obviously Vettel and Hamilton are just fighting for best of the rest, really. Along with the likes of Ocon, Gasly, who scored points today, Ricciardo, who can get his act together as well. So yes, that's where I'm going to leave it today's episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already to see plenty more F122 driver Kuma videos and other F122 gaming content as when it comes out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.